Good morning. My name is Mara Flynn, and I am the Director of Children's Ministry. Welcome to the First Religious Society Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, Massachusetts. We are living in challenging times. Forces press upon us that suggest we best live in fear, separation, and blame. Instead, we choose to come together as a church community committed to love, peace, and justice. Our core values are authentic connection, courageous action, love, spirituality, and wonder. Our mission and our invitation to all of you is come as you are, journey together in love, act with courage, transform our world. We are so happy that you can be with us today for this intergenerational service. This morning, you will see over 20 congregants of all ages participating live. We will be sharing an adaptation of a beautiful story called Old Turtle and the Broken Truth by Douglas Wood. It's a story about the search for truth and meaning, healing, and love. I want to say a big thank you to Theater in the Open for partnering with us again so that we can offer this service in a webinar format. And a special thanks to Maddie Shea, who is helping make everything run smoothly behind the scenes. There's a link in the chat box where you can click to see today's order of service. Also, feel free to comment in the chat box, and we can all see one another after the service at Coffee and Cocoa Hour. I hope to see you there. Every Sunday, we say that it is no small thing that we have gathered. This morning, it is a particularly big thing that we have gathered. So let us give ourselves to it. I welcome one and all to our church and our worship service. It is good to be together.
Our call to worship this morning are the words of Tim Haley, entitled, "Amid All the Noise in Our Lives." Amid all the noise in our lives, we take this moment to sit in silence, to give thanks for another day, to give thanks for all those who are in our lives who have brought us warmth and love, to give thanks for the gift of life. We know we are on our pilgrimage here, but a brief moment in time. Let us open ourselves here, now, to the process of becoming more whole, of living more fully, of giving and forgiving more freely, of understanding more completely the meaning of our lives here on this earth. You are joyfully called to worship. And I will invite all of us now from our own places to join together in the chalice lighting words that will be shared on our screen. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. If you have a candle at home, I encourage you to light it with us at this time. Each week, we also light 2 candles of peace, representing 2 places on earth we lift up and remember as a sacred encounter with our world. There are untold numbers of places on earth that need peace. These 2 we especially hold close in this service and through the week ahead. After each candle is lit, I invite you to speak the words for peace in English, Arabic, and Hebrew. Peace, salam, shalom. Our first candle this morning is lit for the performing arts, a sector that is hit hard by the pandemic, both here in our own community and around the world. We pray for the artists, the dancers, the actors, the writers, the directors, the musicians, and all. And we recognize the importance of their soulful and critical work. We also lit our second candle for peace this morning. It is lit for our country as we observe Black History Month. In his 2016 speech, President Barack Obama said that Black History Month is about the lived, shared experiences of all African Americans, high and low, famous and obscure, and how their experiences have shaped and challenged and ultimately strengthened our country. It's about taking an unvarnished look at the past so that we can create a better future. It is a reminder of where we are as a country and where we have been so that we know where we need to go. Black history is American history. Peace, salam, shalom. And we'll also light this morning, as we do each Sunday, a candle of hope and remembrance in recognition of the COVID-19 pandemic, all those who are struggling for economic security, all those fighting for their health, all those who have lost their lives. We will continue to light this candle each time we worship for as long as we live into this worldwide reality. Please join now in saying our affirmation of faith. Again, the words will be displayed on our screens. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
From all that dwell below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land by every tongue.
This is the time in our service when the offering will be gratefully received. The generosity of our community is an essential ministry that supports the work of the church to live out our values, mission, and ends, both in Newburyport and beyond. Each week, 50% of the Sunday offering, not designated as a pledge, goes to a local community partner engaged in important efforts to transform our region. The February shared collection will support the Massachusetts Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence. This coalition brings together over 90 organizations across the state, including First Religious Society, to end the epidemic of gun violence by advocating for improved policies around gun safety and partnering with community organizations working to end violence in their neighborhoods. You can find the donation link in the chat box now. You can also text a contribution by sending the word, all one word, all capitalized, give FRSUU to the number 73256. And of course, you can always mail a check to the church as well. Contributions from the weekly offering are down significantly this year due to our online worship format. So your generosity is especially appreciated at this time.
This old world is full of sorrow, full of sickness, weak and sore. If you love your neighbor truly, love will come to you the more. We're all children of one family. We're all brothers, sisters too. If you cherish one another, love and friendship come to you. This old world can be a garden full of fragrance, full of grace. If we love our neighbors truly, we must meet them face to face. It is said, now love thy neighbor, and we know well this is true. This the sum of human labor, true for me as well as you.
Once in a faraway land, not so far away, that was in the land where every stone was a teacher, and every breeze was a language, where every lake was a mirror, and every tree was a ladder to the stars. Into the lovely land there fell a truth. It streaked down from the stars, trailing a tail long as the sky, but as it fell, it broke. One of the pieces blazed off through the night sky, and the other fell down to the earth, onto the beautiful land.
In the morning, Crow found the fallen piece. It seemed to be a sort of stone, shiny and pleasing to the eye. She picked it up.
This is a lovely truth. I will keep it.
But after she had held it for a while and examined it closely, Crow said,
This truth does not feel quite right.
a part of it is missing.
A part of it is missing.
I will look for a whole one.
I will look for a whole one.
She flew off and dropped it to the ground. Other creatures who liked shiny things soon noticed the truth as well. Fox, coyote, and raccoon each picked it up and carried it for a while. But they too found that it had rough edges and was difficult to carry, and its sparkle soon lost its appeal. We do not need this broken truth, they said.
Butterfly and bear also discovered the truth, drawn by its sweetness, but each found that it left a bitter taste after all.
There's something missing in this truth. We will find a whole one.
And they left it alone. After a while, none of the creatures even noticed the broken truth anymore, and it lay on the ground forgotten.
This is a time in our service each week when we pause to remember the sorrows and the joys of our friends and our members amongst us this morning. So at this time, I'll invite you to write into the chat any joys or sorrows you would like to share. We'll be doing this morning with stones in water, and I'll begin with those that have been shared with me in advance, but I do invite you to begin sharing now. This morning, we offer a sorrow as we share that we've learned that longtime FRS member Chris Snow, husband of Jean Snow, passed away on February 1st. He had been very ill and in hospice for several months. Chris was well known in the community and had a wealth of historical knowledge about our church. We hold Carol and Stan Kilty in our hearts this morning, as this week marks the eighth year since their daughter, Catherine Drew, died of ovarian cancer. They write, "She is missed and loved by her family. The mystery of death, like the mystery of life, is full of hope and longing." We hold Sue Fasoli and her family in our hearts and our prayers this morning as they mourn the loss of Sue's mother, Eleanor. Eleanor passed away at the age of 92 years on January 31st, following a recent diagnosis of COVID-19. Sue writes that she was a gentle, loving, and supportive mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, and aunt, who enjoyed gardening, singing in her church choir, crafting with her daughter, RV road trips to Florida with her husband. Please hold Paula Esty and her husband, Mark Rosen, in your thoughts and your prayers. Paula has received a positive COVID-19 diagnosis just on Friday. We wish her a full and speedy recovery, and we wish her family and friends health. Lisa Johnson shares the joy that her daughter, May Lee, is engaged to be married to her life partner, Roger. Lisa wrote, "Though no date has been set yet, I am bursting with joy for them both and our families." This, a joy by Betsy Woodman, who wrote that recently her oldest granddaughter, Lily, turned 16. She's a sophomore at Boston Latin School, and they've been remote learning all year. She told me, Betsy wrote, about her classes, how she is doing in school and communicating with her friends, and how the family are surviving, all closed into a small house in Charleston. Her sister, Emma, was excited to be hearing her communicate in such a meaningful way and telling about the cupcakes that she baked for her birthday. Betsy wrote, "Wow, communication miracles can be so powerful." And I lift up another joy this morning as Mara Flynn celebrated her birthday yesterday. And I know you all joined me in wishing her a very happy birthday. And I'll make sure I catch them all. Okay, so this is for Anne Mulvey, who shares this joy. She has a joy, she's happy to say, that Kathy Desolate's special birthday on Tuesday. Kathy will be 75. Amazing. Of course, we're happy she's still alive. Yes, we are. And so let's wish her well now so that she'll know how beloved she is right here and right now. That is so true. Judy Fair says, this is a wish for peace for their neighbor John, who lost his wife Patty last week. May his grief be bearable, and may he know many caring hearts surround him. Sharon Broll shares that there's a new baby in their family, Brooke Cohen Serum, born to her niece Willow. Willow's mother, Devora, died a few weeks ago, but we are all certain that she is celebrating with us all. A joy and a sorrow. And Nash is sharing the joy that he got a new sled and had great fun sledding with his friends this weekend. And I think, Nash, you're going to get some more today. And we hold in our hearts and in this stone all the joys and all the sorrows that, though unspoken, are held in just as much love, community, and care.
Then a human being found it. They were walking slowly, listening to the breezes, gazing at beauties above and below and all around them, when they found the broken truth. On it was writing, and the writing said, "You are loved." The person held it carefully, thinking it was the loveliest thing they had ever seen. They tucked the broken truth into a safe place and kept it. Sometimes they would take it out and admire it, and the truth sparkled just for them and whispered its message to them alone. And the person thought they had never felt so proud and happy.
The person took the wonderful truth to their people, those who lived with them, those who spoke and dressed as they dressed, and whose faces looked like theirs. And together they cherished their newfound truth and believed in it. They hugged it to themselves, and it became their most important possession. After a while, the people did not hear the language of the breezes and stones anymore, but beauty in the lakes or the ladders to the stars, but saw only their sparkling truth. As for them, it was enough, and they called it the truth. The truth made people feel good and proud and strong, but they soon also began to feel fear and even anger towards those who were not like themselves and did not share their truth. The other beings and other people of the lovely land seemed less and less important, and the language of the breezes were hardly ever heard anymore.
Time passed, and other people said, "We must have this great truth for ourselves. For with it comes happiness and power." Many battles were fought, and the broken truth was won and lost over and over again. But such was its power and beauty that no one ever doubted. And when they were without it, they felt a great emptiness where their truth had been. The stones and trees suffered, the breezes and waters suffered, and the animals and the earth, and most of all the people suffered. Finally, the animals went to see Old Turtle, ancient and wise as the mountains and seas themselves.
This truth people fight over. This truth that the people fight over.
This truth that the people fight over.
We have all held it ourselves.
We have all held it ourselves. It's broken and does not work.
Please tell the people.
I am so sorry, but the people will not listen. They are not yet ready.
And the suffering continued.
And the suffering continued until one day some children went out to find Old Turtle. They traveled very far, crossed the mountains of imagining and the river of wondering why, and had found their way through the forest of finding out. And when they grew tired, they rode on the backs of animals or the wings of birds. Finally, the children came to a great hill on the very center of the world, and when they saw Old Turtle, they could hardly speak. They simply looked with eyes full of wonder.
Why have you come so far to find me, little ones?
We want to ask a question. Where we live. The earth is sore and people are suffering. Battles are fought over and over again. People say it has always been this way and will never change. Can it change, Old Turtle? Can we make it change?
The world you describe is not the world that has always been, little ones. When the people discovered the broken truth, suffering followed. It is because it is so close to a great whole truth that it has such beauty, and that the people love it so. It is the lost portion of that broken truth that the people need if the world is to be made whole again.
But will is the missing piece. Can we put the truth back together again?
First, my dears, remember, there are truths all around us and within us. They twinkle in the night sky, they bloom upon the earth. They fall upon us every day, silent as the snow, gentle as the rain. The people, clutching at their one truth, forget it is a part of all the small and lovely truths of life. They no longer see these truths, no longer hear them, but perhaps, little ones, you can.
But we can try!
And the children thought once more of their long journey. They looked upon all the beauty that surrounded them. They saw the movement of clouds, and the soaring of birds, and the dancing of light between the green and living earth. They heard the whispering of a breeze, and gradually a feeling came over them as though all the world were made of truths, as if the world had been made just for them, and they had been made for the world. And they felt a secret smile somewhere deep inside, and thought that perhaps they understood. They looked once again at Old Turtle, their eyes more filled with wonder than before.
Remember this also, little ones. The broken truth and life itself will be mended only when one person meets another. Someone from a different place, or with a different face, or different ways, and sees and hears themselves. Only then will the people know that every person, every being is important, and that the world was made for each of us.
For a long time then, the friends were quiet, high on their hill, in the very center of the world. And in their hearts, the children thought they could see other people in other beautiful lands. People with their own ways, their own truths. People different from their own, but still, somehow, the people. Old Turtle, how will the people learn these things?
By seeking out those small and simple truths all around them, by listening once more to the language of breezes, by learning lessons from stones and animals, trees and stars, even turtles, even children. Now, little ones, it is time for you to go. Return to your people and tell them what you have seen and learned, and to help them mend their broken truth. Take this with you. I have saved it for a very, very long time for somebody just like all of you.
The children looked at what Old Turtle had given them. It was a kind of stone, a mysterious, beautiful stone. It was lovely to touch, and it made them feel good to hold it. They squeezed it tightly, then tucked it away for their journey.
Thank you,
Old Turtle.
The children hugged their friend's leathery neck and started their journey home. Once more they traveled through the forest of finding out, crossed the river of wondering why, and the mountains of imagining. Crow led the way, and again when the children grew tired, their animal friends helped. In this way, the journey took a long time, yet almost no time at all. And they were home. But it had been a very long journey, and those who take great journeys of the heart are changed. The people did not recognize them, and when they spoke, they did not understand. The children told the people of their journey, but the people could not follow their words. They spoke of a world made up of small and gentle truths, of all the peoples being one people. They explained about the broken truth and the need to make it whole, but the people did not believe them and could not understand.
Finally, Crow, seeing all that had happened, flew to the tower high above the village where the great truth was kept, in a place where all could see it. She cawed and cawed in her loudest voice, and suddenly the children knew what to do. They climbed the tower. They took the stone Old Turtle had given them and carefully added the missing piece to the old broken one.
Fit was perfect.
The people looked.
And looked, and looked. Some frowned.
Some smiled. Some even laughed.
And some cried.
And they began to understand.
Time passed, and upon the beautiful land, and the trees climbed like ladders to the stars. The water shone like mirrors, and the people saw their beauty. A breeze stirred, and they heard its music. Tiny truths fell by day and night, and gentle as the rain and snow, and the people found them and kept them in their hearts. And slowly, as the people met other people different from themselves, they began to see themselves. And far away on a hill, in the very center of the world, the old turtle smiled.
We hope you enjoyed this adaptation of Old Turtle and the Broken Truth by Douglas Wood. I want to thank everyone who helped to tell this story. How about a round of applause for our volunteers? Great job, everybody. That was so beautiful. And now please enjoy this video recorded from an in-person service from last year of our own young church choir singing Let's Get Together.
Wonderful. I do hope everyone will join us for the coffee and cocoa hour that Mara will be hosting afterwards. I believe we'll put a different link in the chat for that. It will be a different Zoom link. Won't you please join now in speaking together the words of our unison benediction, which will be shared. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. My friends, the truth is, the whole truth is you are loved, and so are they. Go in peace and return again in great joy. Amen and blessed be.